Hello all, I'm Yogi, the executive chef of Flower Restaurant. Today I'm going to show you how we make our iconic butter chicken at Flower. Last 5 years you've loved our butter chicken. Today let me show you how we do it. While we do it, I'll also tell you how tomatoes came to India, how butter chicken evolved, and why is it that Flower's butter chicken is quite different to all the butter chickens you've had. I'll introduce you to my chef, Saurabh Rawat.
Hello everybody.
At Flower, he is also called as butter chicken chef because he is the guy who makes butter chicken. Alright, now to make butter chicken, the main ingredient is tomatoes. You have to ensure your tomatoes are nice, beautiful, red. I'm also okay if you go for overripe tomatoes. That's fine. But tomatoes have to be beautiful. The size actually doesn't matter, it's up to you. As long as the tomatoes are beautifully red. Now, red doesn't mean the tomatoes have the flavor you want. So, we'll start with cutting the tomatoes first before we start making it. And the first tomato that you cut, you should taste to understand the sourness of the tomatoes. Just normal dices is enough, right, Saurabh?
Okay. First before.
Saurabh, get the gas on. This process is called blanching, or it's actually not blanching, it's more than that. It's actually boiling the entire tomato. To do that, we'll add a few spices in it in the first step. Green cardamom, bay leaves, ginger paste, red chili. This red chili is not to impart any flavor. Red chili is just to get the color up right at the beginning. Cashew nuts. Cashew nuts are used as a binding agent. So if you're allergic to nuts, you can use something called as khus, K-H-U-S, khus. It is in English what it's called. I need to check, or please do Google search. Not coming to my mind right now. You can use khus as well if you're allergic to nuts. Depending on the sweetness of tomatoes, a bit of sugar, fennel, salt, and this is capsicums. Why do I have capsicum in the tomatoes that I'm using? See, many chefs have their style. My style is to add a bit of pepper from the capsicum. You know, it gives me the camouflage that I need. So we're going to use all this to make the first step, that is boiling of the tomato. We are now going to cook this or boil it, and then we'll blend it. Okay, in the meantime, let me tell you something about tomatoes itself. You know, tomatoes came to India somewhere in 1400. Before that, India did not have tomatoes. Tomatoes were brought to India by the Portuguese along with chili, for pepper. And then they were planted in India and used. In fact, in one of the books written by Akbar, there is a chapter in which shorba is mentioned, and it is mentioned in the name of Vilaiti Bengan. Shorba. Vilaiti Bengan was the name Indians gave tomatoes. Vilaiti means foreign, Bengan means brinjal. So that was the name for tomatoes in India. The Portuguese got them, and the British botanist, I think, he is the most iconic man for India when it came to farming. Sir William something, I forgot his name. But he is the guy who started planting tomatoes across India, and that's how tomatoes came into being. But Indians found tomatoes to be on the sour side. So tomatoes were generally used only as a souring agent. But by that time, India, central and southern India, was already using tamarind. There is a sourness agent called as kokum. And if you go to the north and northeast, there's something called as amla. It's even used in the west of India. Amla, or a family of gooseberries. These were souring agents. Tomato could never match that. Never. That's why even in India today, a tomato is always fully cooked. Always fully cooked. It becomes a part of a dish, but it can never be the main dish. Unlike in the Western world, you know, you can have a complete sauce out of tomato, or you can have a dish out of tomato. But in India, till date, it doesn't exist. It's because of the introduction later on, in India already having a lot of souring agents. Now, everything changed somewhere in late 1940s. when the first sauce tomat, as I call it, from India was introduced to the world. The game changer. That sauce today is called the makhani gravy, made purely from tomatoes, where the sweetness and the sourness of the tomatoes came to its prime. For me, that's the first sauce tomat that India gave the world. That dish is today and everywhere in the world called as the butter chicken. Okay, now this is how your boiling process should be. You know, as I said, Indians cook the tomatoes completely. So unlike the French or the Western kind of cooking, where normal blanching is done, you take the skin out. No, we boil it completely. We cook it for how long more?
10 minutes.
10 minutes more. So what we'll do is, we'll tell you how it looks in the end once it is done, before you put it for blend. In the meantime, we will marinate the chicken for the chicken tikka required. Okay, here we are. By the time the tomato is getting boiled and cooked the way we want before we blend it, we'll show you how to marinate the chicken tikka. We'll tell you first how this marinade is prepared for the chicken tikka. Saurabh, come on, tell the guests. How do you make this?
Hankar.
Hankard.
Degi mirch.
Okay, red chili powder, ginger garlic paste, just small portions.
Kasturi methi.
Bit of kasturi methi.
Jeera powder.
Jeera powder, that is cumin powder.
Cumin powder and kitchen.
Okay, and a bit of garam masala if you like. The best is you taste it. The flavor matters to your palate. So you taste it first. Now he's going to marinate it. What pieces are this of chicken? They are the leg piece.
Yes, yes.
Okay, they are leg piece. We've just cut them into small chunks so that it's easier. Let's do the marination now. And don't forget to add a bit of mustard oil in this. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Mustard oil is critical in this marination. If you don't want to use mustard oil, it's okay. You can use olive oil or you can use any other oil but with no flavor. Mustard oil imparts that piquantness to the chicken tikka that you want. Okay. Have a look. They've been immersed nicely. And now we're going to close it with a cling foil and put it in the chiller before we cook them. Here we go. I'm going to put this in the chiller now. Okay. Now, this is the level at which you need to cook or cook your tomatoes. Have a look. Have a look here. It's almost like a paste. You can see the skin. Skin is separated beautifully here. Skin separates out. Flesh has completely melted. It's outstanding. It's beautiful. We've cooled this down. After this, we will blend it in the blender. You have to. After blending, we sieve it so that all the impurities, everything else is taken out. Okay? The blending process finished. Open it. Nice. Pour it. Now we have to sieve this paste. Sieve it complete. Take a spatula. You have to sieve it. It's going to be a bit difficult, but you've still got to sieve this out completely. It's not difficult actually. We do it every day. Nicely done. You can see the cardamom skin, the tomato skin. I can see it all, the tomato seeds. I see it all here. All this cannot go in your sauce tomat. No way. All right. We are done here. See the beautiful sauce tomat. You see? Nice. Don't worry. It's not yet done. It's not cooked. Stage 1 is done now. Now we enter stage 2, where we move with the process of converting this into the beautiful butter chicken that you have. This entire paste goes back into the cooking. Okay. The beautifully sieved tomatoes, you see how nice and thick it is? There's the power of cashew nuts, the binding agent. Beautiful. Nice. Now, we're going to stage 2. For stage 2, again, a few spices, but this time, we use powder. Powder, roasted kasuri methi, or its dry fenugreek leaves. That is cream. Cream you use generally only to reduce the starch tomato red color. But I think this tomato color is perfect. So we will not use cream in this. Your bit of honey should, now when you cook, and if the flavor of tomato is not getting enhanced, you add honey to it. Butter, and that's about it. Nothing much. It's a simple dish. Okay? What are you going to do now? We're going to put the sauce tomat and cook it further to take all the flavor of the tomatoes out. We have to take the flavor of tomato out. It's not yet there. As I said in the beginning, that Indians accepted tomatoes, but this is one of the first sauces that was ever made purely from tomatoes. But even for that, the actual flavor of tomato, when it starts imparting sweetness, it has to reach that stage. So now we're going to cook this. Again, if you notice, there's no greasing agent added, nothing. Nothing. We are just going to cook this now. The flame should not be high and it should not be low. It should be medium flame only. And you have to constantly stir it. I'll show you step by step what happens when a tomato cooks slowly and steadily, and how you clean it as well. That is the marinated chicken. By the time your sauce tomat comes into play, we will roast the chicken or barbecue the chicken. This is Sohan, Chef Sohan, who is responsible for a tandoor. He is the guy who gives you a lovely bread, everything that comes out from the tandoor. Now what's a tandoor? Come with me. Tandoor is a charcoal oven. Vertical. Look inside. Beautiful charcoal. Lovely. At flour, we ensure that we only use charcoal, no gas. You can also do this in your oven. Keep the temperature at 250 degrees and cook it for 6 minutes. Huh? Okay, 260 degrees or 250 degrees in your oven on roast and cook it for 8 minutes. Right. You saw how the chicken tikka has got inside the tandoor or the oven. Now look at this chicken. Look at this sauce tomat. Cooking slowly, 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 getting cooked. Now it is on simmer. It's on low flame now. It'll start becoming thicker and thicker. It's going through a reduction. Add kasturi methi or dry fenugreek leaves. Just a bit. A teaspoon is enough. That's a tablespoon. Use only a teaspoon, more than enough. You have to be very careful with green cardamom. It is very strong. So put half of a teaspoon and then taste it. You can do it in the end too. You can do the touch up in the end. A bit of honey. Honey is not used to sweeten it. Honey is used to uplift it. 1 full teaspoon. No cream is added. Many customers tell me that I'm lactose intolerant and I want to eat butter chicken but no cream. Yes. If you're lactose intolerant, then you may not be able to have butter chicken because we add butter to it now. So if you tell any restaurant maybe in advance, they may skip the butter. And cream, for me, cream is only used for color reduction. Otherwise, you don't need cream much. See, it splatters. It is splattering now. The second stage, you need to cook for at least 20 minutes. And I'll tell you the exact flavor you need on your palate, on your tongue, to ensure so that you know, you're confirmed that your sauce tomat or the makhani sauce is complete. You see the splatterings? Splatters as thickens. See here? As it thickens, you've got to be away from it. Okay, the sauce tomat is ready. It is cooked nicely. See the lovely color and the shine it has. Beautiful shine. Now, I told you that I will tell you the flavor profile. When you know it is cooked, you see the thickness? Zero cream. Zero cream. Beautiful, beautiful. The tomatoes should remain intact. But this time, first flavor in your mouth should be the sweetness of the tomatoes, and the end finish, the sourness of tomatoes that comes out. The cardamom flavor should rise up a bit. It will automatically rise. Cardamom always rises. But you've got to be careful with cardamom. Don't add too much. It will kill the tomatoes. Yeah? And honey, I don't taste at all. A sauce tomat from India, my dear friends. And these are the tikkas, the chicken that we roasted. Now, let's put it in a plate. Come on, Saurabh, let's do it. Let me have a look here. Mix it nicely if you want. You get the chicken on top. If you don't want, it's okay. Lovely. Lovely charred and beautiful barbecue chicken with sauce tomat. So ladies and gentlemen, my dear guests, This is the butter chicken you've been having. Sweet, sour. Something about butter chicken. Butter chicken comes from categorically Delhi. A restaurant which created it. It was done by the people who came from Pakistan to India. A family, the Kundan Lal Gujral and family. And butter chicken was created in Delhi in his restaurant. And that restaurant still exists. And I've dined there. It's magical. That is how butter chicken came up. Now, today there are various formats in which butter chicken is made. In Malaysia, if I go, I see curry leaves in a butter chicken. And some people like the Punjabi style of butter chicken will be adding more spice to it. I've also seen people adding onions to it. But from where I come, there should be no onion to it. It's the magic of tomatoes and the barbecue chicken which should rise up on your palate. And that's the butter chicken you like. Now, if you're those types that like a butter chicken or something which is spicy, well, I think if I add more spice to this, any other spice to this, which will give you that spicy touch on your palate or the heat on your palate, I think we destroy the tomatoes. So I don't do that at all. This is Flour's butter chicken, what you all love. And now you can also make it at home. Thank you, chef. Pleasure. Pleasure. Thank you, guys.